Picture this. It's 2:17 in the afternoon, your eyelids are losing a fight with gravity, your brain feels like it's buffering, and you crack open your third energy drink of the day like you're about to summon divine intervention from a neon-colored aluminum can. And for about 20 minutes, it works. Your brain sharpens, your mood lifts, your body goes, "Ah, yes, chemicals, we live." And then a few hours later, something strange happens. Your hands feel a little weird. Your heart starts doing a drum solo nobody asked for. You're tired, but somehow also too wired to sit still. Your stomach feels like it's negotiating a hostage situation. And later that night, when you're staring at the ceiling at 1:43 a.m. for absolutely no good reason, you start asking the question you probably should have asked around can number 2. What actually happens after you drink too many energy drinks? Because the real answer is not just you get more energy. That's the marketing version. The biological version is a lot messier. Energy drinks typically pack large amounts of caffeine, often alongside added sugars and other stimulants or stimulant-like ingredients such as guarana and taurine. FDA and CDC guidance both note that energy drinks can contain a lot of caffeine, and the caffeine from guarana counts too. My name is Chris, and today we're going to do something energy drink marketing would strongly prefer you not do. We're going to follow the timeline, hour by hour, body system by body system. What happens in your brain, your heart, your stomach, your sleep, your stress hormones, and why too many can feel like productivity at first and biological revenge later. And here's the thing. The problem with energy drinks isn't that they're evil. The problem is that they're honest for 20 minutes and dishonest for the next 12 hours. Let's start with the first myth. Most people think an energy drink gives you energy. Not exactly. Caffeine does not create energy in the way food or sleep does. It mainly increases alertness by blocking adenosine, a chemical involved in sleepiness and fatigue. NIOSH notes caffeine can help alertness, tends to take effect in roughly 15 to 45 minutes, and has a half-life of around 5 to 6 hours, though it can stay in your system longer. That means your energy drink is not really adding fuel. It's more like putting black tape over the low battery warning and pretending your phone is fine. And that's why the first phase can feel amazing. You're not suddenly restored. You're temporarily less aware of how wrecked you were. That distinction matters more than people realize, because once you understand that, the rest of the experience starts making uncomfortable sense. So let's run the timeline. Phase 1, the lift. Roughly 15 to 45 minutes after caffeine, alertness rises. Your attention can improve. You may feel more focused, more awake, more capable. That part is real. That's why people use it. But here's where it gets interesting. That same stimulant effect can also raise heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing. The CDC study in NIH and NCCRBAOH both note that energy drinks and large amounts of caffeine can increase heart rate and blood pressure, and in some cases affect heart rhythm. So the boost is not free. Your body is not calmly becoming optimized. It's being pushed. That push feels good if you are underslept, underfed, stressed, or trying to brute force your way through a deadline. It feels like rescue. But biologically, it's closer to your nervous system being told, I don't care what state you're in, perform anyway. Which is inspiring right up until your body starts sending feedback. Now let's talk dose, because this is where everything gets stupid fast. For most healthy adults, the FDA says up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day is generally not associated with dangerous negative effects. But generally, and for most healthy adults, are carrying a lot of weight there. Energy drinks can range widely in caffeine content, and some pack hundreds of milligrams in a single can. This is why I only had 2 is not useful math. 2 of what? 2 mild cans, 2 giant cans, 2 cans plus coffee, plus pre-workout, plus cola, plus that chocolate thing you inhaled because lunch got replaced by panic? A lot of people aren't overdosing in some dramatic movie scene way. They're just stacking caffeine from multiple sources until their body starts filing complaints. And the complaints are not subtle. FDA lists signs of too much caffeine such as increased heart rate, palpitations, high blood pressure, insomnia or sleep disruption, anxiety, jitters, upset stomach, nausea, and headache. Read that again and notice how many of those sound weirdly familiar to a stressful day. That's one of the reasons people miss it. They think, I'm anxious because life is a disaster. Maybe, But maybe your nervous system is also running Windows 95 with jet fuel poured into the keyboard. Phase 2. The body starts negotiating. After enough caffeine, especially all at once, your heart and blood vessels can react in ways that stop being productive and start becoming concerning. Large amounts of caffeine may cause serious heart and blood vessel problems, including increases in heart rate and blood pressure, and in some people, heart rhythm disturbances. Now, for most healthy people, one energy drink is not automatically a medical crisis. Let's not be ridiculous. But this is where the logic starts breaking, because people treat energy drinks like slightly aggressive soda when they are really closer to a stimulant delivery system with branding designed by a committee of insomnia demons. And if you're sensitive to caffeine, sleep-deprived, anxious, small-bodied, dehydrated, mixing products, or pounding multiple cans quickly, your margin gets thinner. That's why one person says, "I had one and felt fine," and another says, "I had two and thought I was about to meet God in a gas station parking lot." The product is a part of the story. Your body is the rest of it. Then there's the stomach. This part gets ignored because it's less cinematic than heart palpitations, but it matters. Too much caffeine can come with upset stomach, nausea, and digestive problems. NCCEIH also notes caffeine use may be associated with digestive problems, which is unfortunate because a lot of people drink energy drinks on an empty stomach. That is a truly elite piece of bad decision-making. No food, minimal water, maximum stimulation. Then we act shocked when the body responds like it's been insulted personally. And if the drink is also loaded with sugar, now you've added another layer. A fast sugar hit can make the early phase feel even more dramatic, but it also makes the later drop nastier. Not because sugar is some mythical poison, but because fast up often means fast down when your day already has no stable foundation. So it looked like a productivity hack starts turning into a biochemical prank. Phase 3, the fake energy turns into unstable energy. This is the parts people describe badly. They say, "I crashed," but crash makes it sound clean, like a quick drop and then it's over. That's not usually what happens. What often happens is uglier. You feel tired, but not peacefully tired. You feel drained, but also jittery. You feel mentally foggy, but physically too activated to relax. It's one of the worst combinations in modern life, exhausted and unable to land. Part of that is because caffeine can reduce sleepiness without solving the reasons you were tired in the first place. NIOSH explicitly notes caffeine does not provide the alertness and decision-making ability that actual sleep provides. So if you were under-recovered, all you really did was postpone the bill. And like most postponed bills, it comes back with fees. Now let's talk about the cruelest part of the whole thing, sleep, because this is where the loop gets built. Caffeine can reduce sleep, and its half-life means it can still be in your system much later than people think. NIOSH notes, it can take effect within 15 to 45 minutes and has a half-life of over about 5 to 6 hours, but can remain in the system longer. So here's the trap. You sleep badly because you use too much caffeine. Then you wake up tired because you slept badly. Then you use more caffeine because you woke up tired. Then you sleep badly because you use more caffeine. Congratulations, you've built a self-licking ice cream cone of fatigue. And the really dark part is that after a while, people stop noticing the loop. They think their baseline is, "I'm just a tired person now." No. You may be living inside a cycle that keeps manufacturing the problem it claims to solve. And then there's anxiety. Now, this one matters because the overlap is huge. High caffeine intake can be associated with anxiety, jitters, nervousness, irritability, and sleep problems. Higher doses can increase tension and anxiety symptoms. So if you already have a high stress life, too many energy drinks can turn normal modern stress into "my body is now acting like a small emergency." That doesn't mean caffeine causes all anxiety. It means it can pour gasoline on whatever anxiety is already in the room. And this is one of the reasons energy drinks are so deceptive. The first half feels like performance. The second half feels like your personality's become slightly hunted. You don't always connect it to the can, because the can was hours ago, but your nervous system absolutely does. Now let's deal with a common myth. People say energy drinks dehydrate you. That's not quite the full story. Mayo Clinic notes that while caffeine can increase urine production, most research suggests the fluid in caffeinated drinks offsets the diuretic effect at typical levels. High doses all at once may increase urination more, especially if you're not used to caffeine. So no, one energy drink does not instantly turn you into a raisin. But if you're drinking a lot of caffeine, not eating properly, barely drinking water, and maybe sweating, maybe training, maybe running on little sleep, then yes, the total picture can get ugly fast. This is the pattern in almost all of this. It's rarely just the drink. It's the drink plus the lifestyle around it. Too much caffeine, too little sleep, too little food, too little water, too much stress. And now your body is trying to file 7 separate incident reports at once. There's another layer that people ignore because they think they're being clever. Mixing energy drinks with alcohol. This is one of those ideas that sounds fun right up until you remember your brain is not a lab for chaotic experiments. FDA required caution language and multiple health sources warn against mixing high caffeine products with alcohol because the stimulant effect can make you feel less impaired than you really are. That's a bad combination. Not because caffeine magically cancels alcohol. It doesn't. It can make a drunk person feel more awake, which is not the same thing as being less drunk. That is how people make confident, stupid decisions with the energy of a TED Talk and the judgment of a shopping cart rolling downhill. So what happens after you drink too many energy drinks? First, you feel sharper. Then your nervous system gets louder. Then your heart, stomach, and sleep start voting against the decision. Then tomorrow's fatigue gets worse. Then the temptation to repeat the process gets stronger. It's not just one bad afternoon, it can become a loop. And once it becomes a loop, the drink stops being a tool and starts becoming a patch for damage that the tool helped create. That's the real danger. Not that one can turn you into a hospital documentary, but that repeated overuse can quietly train you into outsourcing basic energy management to a product that was never designed to fix the foundations. Sleep, food, stress, recovery, actual rest. Now before this turns into fake moral panic, let's be sane. Not every energy drink is a disaster. Not every caffeine user is wrecking their body. Moderate caffeine can help alertness, and for many adults, moderate total intake is manageable. The problem is not that the product exists. The problem is dosage, stacking, timing, and the lie people tell themselves, I'm fine. I just need one more. That sentence has probably funded half the industry. If you're using them occasionally, checking the caffeine content, not stacking them with everything else, not using them late, not relying on them to survive basic life, that's one conversation. If you're using them like emergency oxygen for a schedule your body clearly hates, no, that's a different conversation. And your body usually knows which one it is long before your ego does. There's also the identity side of this. Too many people wear stimulant dependence like it's ambition. I'm on my 3rd one. Cool. That is not discipline. That is your endocrine system being held together by branding and denial. Real energy is boring. It's sleep, it's food, it's hydration. It's not treating your body like a startup in year 3 of a funding crisis. And yes, that answer is less exciting than a silver can with lightning on it. That's because biology has terrible marketing. One more thing, because this part matters. If too much caffeine hits you hard, the red flags are not subtle. FDA and poison control note severe caffeine. Toxicity can involve rapid or dangerously erratic heartbeat, seizures, vomiting, disorientation, and in serious cases, collapse. If someone collapses, has a seizure, has trouble breathing, or can't be awakened, poison control says call 911 now. That is not a walk-it-off situation. That is not a maybe I just need fries situation. That is a stop pretending this is normal situation. For milder symptoms like jitters, nausea, palpitations, headache, anxiety, or sleep disruption, FDA recommends discussing caffeine intake with a health professional because the line between a bit too much and way too much for your body is not the same for everybody. So let's land this. What happens after you drink too many energy drinks? You do not become more alive. You borrow alertness, push your nervous system, stress your sleep, gamble with your heart rhythm, irritate your stomach, and increase the odds that tomorrow needs another can to repair what today's can help to break. That's the real story. The can promises energy. The body experiences a negotiation. And the bill usually arrives later, which is exactly why people underestimate it. So the next time you're standing there half dead in the afternoon, hand reaching for can number 3 like it contains salvation, ask the better question. Not, will this wake me up? Ask, what am I about to owe tonight for the alertness I'm buying right now? Because that's the part nobody puts on the label.